If you're surrounded with people that are not reflecting back to you the best version of yourself, the leveled up version of yourself, then you need to change the people that you've surrounded yourself with, because that's probably one of the biggest things that is blocking you, that is keeping you, stopping you from getting to that next level. Welcome back to the Artful Dollar podcast, where I am trying to close the wealth gap one artist at a time. I'm trying to put the power back in the hands of artists, obviously a lot of tattooers, but really any creative dreamers and thinkers out there. Being able to empower you with your business, with your money, is ultimately my mission here with the Artful Dollar. And I wanted to report back from the Eden Symposium. I just gave a marketing and mindset talk, more of a mindset and marketing talk at the Eden Symposium. And I just wanted to talk about some of the presenters, my experience, some major takeaways for anyone that wasn't able to get there. Maybe it's something you're interested in doing in the future and you just wanted to get a little sample taste of kind of what it's like. I just wanted to share my experience with you and hopefully give you some takeaways that you can implement in your own tattoo business. So obviously I was there to give a marketing talk. When I was on the Eden podcast a few months ago, they had asked me, they're like, we're looking for someone to talk about business. They were going to have a CPA, I think, do a talk on taxes, which, look, I love talking about taxes, but it's not the most uplifting topic. And so I could see that being challenging in a room full of tattooers. And I really wanted to bring the energy and just have people see themselves, ultimately see something that everyone in the room came in with already. I didn't give anyone anything. I just revealed something that was already there inside of each person in the room, really talking about these different sort of archetypes that we all have, really 4 main archetypes, which is the king or queen or sovereign archetype, right? The ruler, the one that knows, makes the decisions, doesn't need to seek approval from anyone else. There is a little ruler, sovereign inside of every one of you listening to this podcast. And so we kind of summoned that version. We also talked about your inner warrior, like the one that you rely on when the rubber hits the steel or the ground or whatever the saying is, and you have to get it. You have to fight for something. You have to make it happen, and you have to make it happen quick. And again, you're not apologizing for anything. You have to fight for what you want, what you desire, what you feel is important in the world. Summoning your inner lover, the nurturer, the caretaker. And I kind of talked about this in terms of your business. Each one of these, I was inviting people to explore, what does that part of you, what advice would they have to give you about your business? And so we kind of went through this, not really meditation, but just sort of a process of summoning each one of these identity archetypes. Talked a little bit about Carl Jung and kind of where I got into all this stuff. But the lover is sometimes that's needed with if you're a shop owner with your artists. Sometimes we need to like really show some people some love and like let them know that we appreciate them. Sometimes we forget to do that. And then other times it is letting yourself know that you appreciate yourself. We can be so hard on ourselves. And, if I were to ever talk to my daughter the way I talk to myself in my head, I would kill me. I would tackle me to the ground. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you being so brutal about things that are ultimately pretty insignificant? I catch myself all the time. And so that's when the lover, the nurturer, is really needed in those moments. And then we talked about something called the magician, sort of your inner alchemist, the ability you have to produce miraculous results in the face of no agreement, in the face of immense obstacles, and even still you're able to produce those miraculous results. So everyone listening to this podcast and everyone who was at this seminar all had that in them. I just walked people through a process of really summoning that to the surface and then tapping into and asking that version of yourself, what's your next move in your business, in your content, in your artwork? You can really operate at your peak performance in any area of your life by tapping into these archetypes. And there are many others, but these are just 4 that I used in my talk. So by far, like one of the most exciting experiences I had was giving that talk, getting off stage, and then just having people like bum rush me. Like they were stoked, they were excited, and I was a little bit unsure of how it was going to be received. You know, it was a room full of intimidating tattoo artists. You know, are they judging me? What are they thinking? Are they think this exercise is stupid? You know, like all that stuff is there for me. It's not that I don't have those thoughts, those fears. They're just so quiet at this point. And I've really just had to train myself to sort of see them, but they're like on the other side of a wall or something, and it's like wah, 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 wah. It's very muted. And like I get it, the fears are there, but ultimately I had to let all of that go in order to tap into who I needed to be to speak powerfully and make the impact that I wanted to make. So if anyone here is, you know, even interested, even remotely in ever teaching or giving a talk yourself, you know, all that stuff comes up for people. And I talked to several of the other presenters who were definitely feeling the nerves. I was sitting next to Malek. I'm just have the names of some people here. I was sitting next to Malek, who wild, bonkers, talented tattooer from Turkey. She did a talk on color theory and mixing and how to apply and saturate colors. And she was going over how she does such incredible tattoos. Not only gets them saturated and looking like they're popping up off the skin, but healing. There was so much conversation around healing tattoos at this seminar, probably more than any other tattoo seminar I've been to. I've been to the Explorer Expo. I've been to, you know, several seminars at conventions, and particularly Weyler Montero. Well, I hope I'm saying that right. Weyler Montero, also another like Olympic athlete of tattooing. They both talked about the damage that they're doing to the skin more than almost any other tattooer I've heard. It seemed to be like a really key component to how they think about applying tattoos is not only am I getting the color in there, but how much damage, how little damage can I possibly do to the skin while getting it fully saturated. And so talking about needle angle, talking about how the skin is stretched from even like a surgical standpoint, and talking about the motion moving with certain lines, moving with the skin when you're kind of passing over the skin with your shading, saturating, lining. It was just like really breaking down these nitty gritty aspects of tattooing in a way that I don't see or hear most tattooers talking about. I definitely, you know, never experienced that before. So these tattooers, again, these are some of the best tattooers in the world. They really are thinking about tattooing like an Olympic athlete would think about a sport. Weyler even has his clients eat a specific diet for about 1 month before they come and sit in his chair and get tattooed by him, because he'll do 2, 3, 4 days in a row. He needs them to be as healthy as possible. He needs their skin to be healthy. And so he's literally thinking like, how can I cover the most ground, the most space in the least amount of time, doing as little damage to the skin as possible? And so a part of his process is coaching his clients on what to eat 1 month before they come and get tattooed by him. When I heard that, I was blown away. I mean, it makes sense, you know, if you eat hot dogs and drink vodka every day for a month before you get tattooed, your skin's probably not going to be in a ideal state. We've all been there, you know, tattooing someone that just hasn't been taking care of themselves, and you feel it in the skin. The other thing that I really took away from these presenters was how methodical and systematic they are with every aspect of tattooing. And we all kind of have our rituals with setting up, breaking down, but it was just like nitty gritty from the way they lay out their inks, when they lay out their inks, which inks they allow themselves to lay out first, second. There was a lot of talk about white, and everyone thinks about, oh, okay, white highlights. Timmy B talked a lot about just being more reserved in the use of pure white for highlights versus off-whites or a pinkish white, and really thinking about, which surfaces here do we really want to pop? And one of the best quotes, I think, from Timmy B's presentation was, if everything is highlighted, then nothing is highlighted. Or if everything is accentuated, then nothing is accentuated. That really was a great takeaway. So apparently 88% of listeners have not left a review or subscribed. And I'm going to get right back to the podcast in just a second. But if you have found this episode helpful and you think that other people would benefit from listening, then all I ask in return is please just leave a quick review and subscribe. It'll take just 1 minute, and it might help other tattooers and other artists find this podcast and help them out. So please, it would mean the world to me, and it might actually make a difference for someone else. Thanks. Timmy also really, I was surprised. I don't know if surprised is the right word, but he talked so much about his consultation process and the questions he asks clients. And honestly, it was like all the kind of stuff that in the art of sales, when you're talking about sales training, and really authentically, how do you connect with someone and offer them something that occurs to them as an opportunity to invest in themselves, where the price doesn't occur as a burden, but it occurs as an opportunity. It's not about what you say to people. It's about what you ask them. It's about the questions that you ask. And so he was asking really great questions to his clients that stirred a conversation that would spark his creativity. He would draw from the conversation like a color palette. Like if someone's from New England or something like that, he'd say, oh, they mentioned this. Well, I'm tying that into the tattoo somehow. He would do it in a way that would clearly surprise his clients. Like they were blown away at the level, not just of detail, but at the level of attention that he would pay to the meaning, the significance, their story, their interest, their background. And he put that into the tattoo. And I mean, he's obviously one of the most skilled, craftsmen when it comes to tattooing. But beyond just being a skilled craftsman, he really is a storyteller with his tattoos. Each one of his tattoos almost has multiple layers of story. And it has like its primary focus, it has its secondary focus, it has the atmosphere, but then it has even deeper layers of significance to the client that turns each and every one of his tattoos into, I mean, I can only imagine just like being someone, especially maybe you're someone that doesn't have a ton of tattoos. Maybe there are a lot of people out there that invest thousands of dollars in getting one killer piece, one or two, and that's it. To walk away to treasure, something like that, to know that this tattooer did not only do the best technical job that can possibly be done, but they put so much heart and soul and love into this piece. And that's all made obvious to the client through the consultation process, through the design process, and in the finished result. These presenters are taking tattooing to such an extraordinary level. And I think, obviously I talk a lot about marketing, but at the end of the day, the best marketing will always be the product you offer and the experience that you give your client. It's really the experience. It's the perceived value that your client has, that they know you're going above and beyond. That makes them, they can't shut up about it. Like I order takeout fairly, at least once a week, I would say I order takeout. I rarely leave a review for, because I'm ordering from a restaurant every once in a while. But once in a while, I'll order from a place, and it was like the packaging is nice, the presentation, even it was delivered, they clearly like thought about it, and you're eating something is above and beyond. Then I'll go and leave a review. Then I'll go and tell my friend, hey, you've got to order the dumplings from Santander because holy shit, they are phenomenal. It's one of my favorite restaurants in Manhattan. It is this level of detail. It's this level of systematic, habitual, thoughtful process that is invested into the tattoo that makes the tattoo so valuable. And that was, I think, one of the biggest takeaways that I got. Even Weyler Montero, he talked a lot about mindset in his presentation. In fact, where he started before he dives into technical ability, and now if you go and see this guy's tattoos, it almost looks unreal. You almost wonder, how could someone even conceive of something like this, but then apply it into skin? It's this mix of realism and abstract, full body suits. He's like, the first part about doing a great tattoo is waking up in the morning. Don't open up your phone. Don't, answer your emails. Like, meditate. Like, sit down, clear your mind, start the day fresh. He said one day a week, he doesn't touch any phones or emails or any technology at all. He just completely unplugs for one day a week to reset his brain. He talked about, physical well-being, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being. All of this goes into his tattoos. So if you're ever wondering, like, how do I level up? And you're drawing all the time and you're tattooing regularly, you're, researching color theory and technical ability. It's like, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So the way you treat yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, is the way you treat your tattoos, is the way you treat your clients. And so if you're looking to level up, like, it all starts within. And that was kind of the whole point of what I wanted to get across to people in my presentation, was like, everything you need, all the answers you're looking for, all the breakthroughs you're seeking, all the results that you're looking to produce, all of the answers are right here within. And then you might check out a podcast or read a book. And all that podcast or book or coach or mentor is doing is they are a mirror for you, reflecting back at you that version of yourself that is capable of that greatest version or that next level version of yourself. Anytime I've worked with a coach, I actually just signed up to work with a new coach that he's grown several companies, and I'm really looking to understand what it means to be a CEO. Because while I am technically the CEO of the Artful Dollar company, we've got 3-4 employees, I don't actually know what that means. So I'm hiring a coach that is an experienced CEO to understand that level of business. And obviously, like, my whole intention is I want to bring this outside knowledge of business to the world of tattooing. So that's my motivation. But I hire people that I like the version of myself that I see reflected back at me when I talk to them. Just think about that for a second. Like, the people that you feel really good around, maybe it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other, partner, wife, whatever. My soon-to-be wife, well, that's another topic. I'm not going to get into that. It's complicated. But I love the version of myself that I see reflected back at me when I'm with her. And so anyone that you surround yourself with, if you don't like the version of you that they see you as, that they're reflecting back at you, if you're surrounded with people that are not reflecting back to you the best version of yourself, the leveled up version of yourself, then you need to change the people that you've surrounded yourself with, because that's probably one of the biggest things that is blocking you, that is keeping you, stopping you from getting to that next level. And at the Eden Symposium, it was clear that we were a room full of tattooers surrounded by each other, and everyone was here hungry to level up, to invest in themselves, to learn, to grow, to step into their uncomfort zone, they're outside of their comfort zone. I asked people before I gave my talk at the beginning, I was like, hey, are you cool if I invite you to step outside of your comfort zone a little bit? And they were all game for it. And so we certainly did that. So I also have to acknowledge the tremendous amount of work that Deanna and Colton, who own Eden Body Art Studio and run the symposium, they put on such an incredible show to organize, to coordinate, to put the funds up front, to get everyone in line, lockstep, the content, the promotion, literally every step of the way. They just run an A+ show. And, I was honored to be invited to speak, but I've seen some not so great operations, and they definitely run a tight ship. So I'm just grateful that there are people like them that are doing tattoo education the right way. And I'm excited for what else they're going to be creating in the future. So congrats to them for creating such an incredible opportunity for speakers, educators, and students of tattooing to continue to learn. Anyway, I just wanted to make a quick little episode to just check in and give you a little sample taste of the Eden Symposium, and just in general, just like what it's like to be around some of the world's best tattooers talking about the craft, the art, the love, and the business of tattooing, all of it together. So I think that's it for today, and I look forward to 2025 is going to be here. It's right around the corner. Honestly, I kind of been taking it a little bit easy towards the end of the year. Things start to slow down. I've just been doing a lot of that inner work on myself and really getting myself ready for the year to come, because I think 2025 is going to be a pop-off year for a lot of us. I can feel this energy building up, and I want to make sure that I go into it fully recovered, fully grounded, and ready to receive the abundance that awaits. So I invite you to do the same. Take care of yourself. Happy holidays. Enjoy. Be well. Take care. Bye. All right. If you found this episode helpful, one of the best ways for you to help other artists is to share this episode. Leave a review and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel, and you never know what a difference it might make for someone else. Plus, I will forever be grateful for your support. So I just want to say thank you and have a great rest of your day.